lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, Monday, the 10th of August in the year 2026. Let's now take a look at the news headlines. ECZ intensifies election stakeholder engagement ahead of polls. Immigration apprehends 10 Ethiopians in KAZUNGULA. Land rights must take center stage in 2026 elections, says Zambia National Land Coalition. In international news, Buddhist leader calls for fair SHINCHEONJI. In sports news, FAST tells clubs to give players time to vote. Join us for these and many more stories after the break.
Before 2022, millions of Zambian children stayed home because school was unaffordable for many families. Today, things are much better. No more tuition fees, no more PTA fees, and no more examination. More than 2.5 million children are back in class across the country. More children in classrooms are free. And with the enhanced Constituency Development Fund, more classrooms are being built, more desks are being made, more teachers are being hired. Because here's the all children across Zambia. Because free education is not just it is a promise to every Zambian child, a promise that poverty will not be their future, a promise delivered. On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. Let's continue to move Zambia forward together.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor, from crispy chips to creamy mash. Potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen, grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. The farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration, or that meal that brings family together, Top Chef rely on this vendor potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that ice delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No title, no status. Just, it's not about doing nothing.
Because your vote matters. It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me
Put me in.
Count
In.
Count me in.
Camnet TV main news now showing on Top Star channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Kstream app. Detail Antapelo Joe Sata. The Electoral Commission of Zambia has intensified stakeholder engagement ahead of August 13 general elections, briefing civil society organizations and local election monitors on key aspects of the electoral process. The Commission held the engagement on Monday as part of its continued efforts to promote transparency and inclusive participation in the electoral process. The event, Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ Chairperson Mwangalaza Lomis said civil society election monitors play an important role in strengthening democracy through civic education, public awareness, election monitoring, and engagement with citizens and institutions. She said informed stakeholders are better placed to participate effectively and process and promote meaningful voters. Mrs. Lomis said local election monitors also play a critical role because they independently observe electoral activity within communities where they interact directly with citizens. The EZ said the participation of accredited local monitors would contribute to greater transparency and public confidence in the elections. The Commission assured seated monitors that it remained committed to facilitating the work in accordance with applicable accreditation requirements. The meeting also provided stakeholders with first information on as the country moves closer to polling day. Mrs. Zalomi's presentations during the engagement covered, among other issues, accreditation and the results management process. She described two areas as critical components of election administration. Civil society organizations and monitors to understand the procedures governing them.
Allow me at this stage to thank you for honoring our invitation and for your continued participation in Zambia's electoral process. The Commission recognizes civil society, faith-based organizations, and local election monitors. I think today we are on home ground, isn't it? As important stakeholders whose work contributes to transparency, accountability, civic participation, and public confidence in the electoral process. We've had a series of stakeholder meetings and engagements, and these were convened in the last days before the polling day. And this is one of such engagements. On 7th of August, the Commission engaged political parties and candidates' representatives. On 8th of August, we met with international election observers. Today, we are pleased to engage civil society, faith-based organizations, and local election monitors as part of our continuing commitment to openness, transparency, and inclusive stakeholder engagement. These engagements reflect the Commission's recognition that credible elections are supported by informed stakeholders who understand the electoral processes and are able to participate in them effectively and responsibly.
The Department of Immigration has apprehended 10 Ethiopian nationals in an intelligence-led operation in the highlands area of KAZUNGULA district. According to Department of Immigration Chief Public Relations Officer Namati Shinka, the operation, conducted by 4 immigration officers and 3 armed police officers, started late Saturday, August 8, 2026, and initially resulted in the apprehension of 3 Ethiopian men. Mr. Shinka said 3 Zambian men suspected of facilitating the movement of the Ethiopians towards the Zambezi River, along with an unknown number of other Ethiopian nationals, escaped during the operation. He said preliminary investigations indicate that the group was allegedly being transported to the Zambezi River for onward movement across the border. Mr. Shinka said the immigration officers launched a follow-up operation in the early hours of Sunday, August 9, and apprehended 7 more Ethiopian men, bringing the total number of custody to 10. He said 7 of those apprehended had valid Ethiopian passports, while 1 possessed an Ethiopian identification card or other documentation.
The Department of Immigration in KAZUNGULA has apprehended 10 Ethiopian nationals in an intelligence-led operation conducted in the highlands area of KAZUNGULA district. The operation involving 4 immigration officers and 3 armed police officers commenced in the late hours of Saturday, 8th August 2026, and initially apprehension of Ethiopian males. During the operation, 3 Zambian men suspected of the movement of Ethiopians towards the Zambezi River, together with an unknown number of Ethiopian nationals, managed to evade the officers. Preliminary investigations indicate that the group was allegedly being transported to the Zambezi River onward movement across the border. A follow-up operation conducted in the early hours of Sunday, 9th August 2026 resulted in the apprehension of a further 7 Ethiopian males, bringing the total number in custody to 10. Of the 10 Ethiopians apprehended, 7 were found in possession of valid Ethiopian passports, 1 had an Ethiopian identification card, while 2 were undocumented. The department has instituted investigations to establish the immigration status, circumstances surrounding the presence in the area, and the persons involved in it. The department is also pursuing the suspected facilitators of the operation and its one against harboring or facilitating in contravention of immigration laws. Meanwhile, the Chipungu Immigration Office on Friday, 7th August 2026, facilitated the voluntary repatriation of 212 Congolese refugees from Mantapala Refugee Settlement. The repatriation was undertaken as part of the ongoing voluntary repatriation exercise coordinated by the Office of the Commissioner for Refugees. Immigration officers facilitated the necessary immigration formalities to ensure the orderly departure of the refugees from Zambia.
The Zambia National Land Coalition said Zambia has its political leaders in the 2026 election campaign. Weak land governance continues to threaten the livelihoods and tenure security of millions of Zambians. A statement issued from the news chairperson Patrick Musole says political parties have focused heavily on agriculture service delivery during the campaign, but have not given land governance the attention ahead of August 13 general elections. Mr. Musole said land remains central to the livelihoods and well-being of millions of Zambians, particularly small farmers and vulnerable communities. He called for stronger protection of customary land and aids political leaders to address insecurity of tenure and allocation. Musole noted that more than 80% is held under customary tenure and remains under the custodianship of traditional leaders, making secure and equitable land governance for rural communities.
As Zambia approaches the for the 13th of August, public debate is intensifying across the country. While political parties emphasis on agricultural support, economic priorities vary. The growing attention to land governance, an issue that remains central to the livelihoods and the well-being of millions of Zambians, but farmers and vulnerable communities. The Lands Act of 1995, which is the principal law governing land administration, is widely seen as no longer fully responsive to present-day ongoing efforts to review the law for present an important opportunity to strengthen protection for land rights, address long-standing concerns around security, especially on customary land. With more of the country's land held under customary tenure and under the of traditional leaders, need for governance remains, particularly small-scale farmers. Limited documentation and security of tenure continue to pose serious challenges. At the same time, national aspirations for more inclusive land allotments to women's ownership and the national policy of 2023 gender and equality are yet to be fully realized. Increasing public interest in greater transparency and accountability in the allocation of land for investment.
And that particular story takes measures, but do join us for more news when we come back.
Every celebration, there's a choice being made. Moments of love, promises for tomorrow, From the everyday worker, the future every day, all in. Round the trend together, the message becomes impossible to ignore. Me in. This election season, your vote counts. Your MSC and voters card ready. Count me in.
Enjoy of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 and 50,000 kwacha paid express metro SVU valued and fine. Call us on 0663 55 85 or 93. Classified financial as your financial friend.
Again in Zambia. Today, millions of us go to school more than ever before in the history of our country because free education is opening doors that were once closed. Today, with 40 million to spend, communities will improve schools and transform lives using the increased CDF. Men and women will walk through markets and stations freely, fear or intimidation from cadres. But the journey is not over. Work
to the change. Let's finish the talk. On the 13th of August 2020, Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. Let us continue to move Zambia forward.
Continue with main news. Community Action Against Corruption (CAAC) has challenged the Zambia Police Service to urgently adopt a comprehensive preventive strategy to curb political violence before, during and after the August 18, 2026 general elections. CAAC Director Brighton Tembo says the police must move beyond responding to violence after it occurs and instead put in place concrete measures to protect citizens' lives and property throughout the electoral period. In a statement issued on Monday, Mr. Tembo said the elections would test not only Zambia's democratic institutions but also the professionalism, impartiality, and preparedness of the police. The organization expressed concern over what it described as inadequate police responses to recent cases of political violence, intimidation, and alleged impunity among political cadres. Mr. Tembo said the police should not wait for violence to erupt before taking action, particularly given the potential for tensions to rise around polling and the announcement of election results. The organization also called on the police to resist political pressure from political leaders and their supporters, insisting that Zambia Police Service must remain impartial.
We wish to call upon the Zambia Police to make sure that they put in place measures that will help to prevent political violence which the country has experienced in the past few weeks. And the police also clearly communicate strategies to Zambians that they have put in place which will help to maintain peace during and after the elections. Zambians should not go into this election fearing that violence might erupt at any time. It's up to the Zambia Police to rise up to the occasion. You know, the performance of the Zambia Police concerning political violence in the past few weeks has not been very much satisfactory. So it's up to the Zambia Police to do the right job and exhibit their professionalism in this matter. Then they should also resist pressure from authority holders and their supporters. Because once this is done, then Zambia will be assured of peaceful elections, and the history of Zambia holding peaceful elections, starting from 1991, when the country transitions to multipartyism, is going to be maintained. So it's our prayer that the Zambia Police must rise to the occasion and make sure that they help to maintain peace during and after the elections.
Economist Kelvin Chisanga has urged the Food Reserve Agency (FRA) to strengthen controls and strictly enforce the first come, first served principle during the 2026 crop marketing season. Mr. Chisanga says Zambia's estimated 5.1 million ton maize harvest presents an opportunity to strengthen food security, but the FRA must quickly pay farmers promptly and prevent post-harvest losses. The agency should not measure its performance only by volume of maize purchased, but by the integrity and fairness of the procurement process. Mr. Tsanga says reports of farmers being bypassed by individuals with connections, middlemen, or people allegedly offering unofficial payments for preferential access should be taken seriously and independently investigated. He warns that such practices could undermine confidence in public procurement and disadvantage genuine smallholder farmers.
Food Reserve Agency's purchasing of maize and other commodity in this particular year should simplify the process. Of course, it has worked out with a lot of model that we are seeing being cultivated for the benefit of farmers and other key stakeholders. So the FLI 2026 marketing season in this year needs to work out with a lot of other aspects that need to be looked into, especially when we look at the efficiency aspect, transparent and speed. Looking at the assessment of this particular year, the FLI crop marketing has to go through transparency and speed. Zambia's productive output in this year is expected to be at 5.1 million metric tons of maize. So the key priority factor into this with regard to FLI is to move in quickly, buy from the farmers, pay them promptly, and also minimize post-harvest losses that usually. But in the case, we should also not just looking at how much we are buying maize with FRA system. We also need to look at the purchasing processes being conducted. The principle of first come, first serve should be well respected, because if farmers tend to see that, it will be able to highlight a good factor of confidence. But if farmers are being bypassed because somebody else has got a strong connection using middlemen, as well as readily have to offer an official payment in order to obtain preferential treatment, complaint should be taken seriously into this aspect. At a point,
Democracy Advocates for Good Governance (DAAG) Executive Fabian Mutale has reported former Nkana Member of Parliament Binwa Mpundu to police over a video allegedly showing him making inflammatory remarks ahead of the August 13 general election. Mr. Mutale says reported Mr. Mpundu to police force headquarters after the video appeared on the former MP's Facebook page. He alleges that the video shows Mr. Mpundu saying he is ready to kill. I beg your pardon. He alleges that the video shows Mr. Mpundu saying he is ready to die or kill, remarks Mr. Mutale believes could incite violence and heighten political tensions ahead of the polls. Mr. Mutale has urged police to investigate the matter and take appropriate action if the allegations are substantiated. He said politicians must avoid provocative statements that could threaten peace and stability, especially during the election period. However, Mr. Mpundu has denied responsibility for the video, claiming it was generated using artificial intelligence. In a Facebook post, Mr. Mpundu said he had not been active on social media and had lost access to his account for several days after an alleged hacker removed him from the platform. The Zambia Police Service investigation is therefore expected to establish the authenticity and the source of the video and determine whether any offense committed.
I have just reported of Zambia, Mr. Binuel Ampundu, the former following the statements he made, one of the videos that he posted on his Facebook page. I have taken sight of the same, and I feel it is in bad taste. We are in a campaign and election mood, just few days before elections. I don't think Zambians should be made to live in fear and in terror. I'm calling upon the law enforcement agencies to thoroughly investigate such statements so that Zambians are not incited to do anything. Zambians should be able to be given confidence that the elections that we are about to go to will be managed in the most professional way. I also want to appeal to politicians and stakeholders to be above board. Politics should not be about a matter of life and death. Politics should not be about a matter of life and death, and we need to curtail such.
Luano District Electoral Officer Emmanuel Lukupwa has urged all staff needs to uphold professionalism throughout the electoral process. He was speaking when he officially opened the 2026 General Election All-Staff Training. The event took place at Luano Town Council Chamber. The DO said the Commission of Zambia had entrusted the trainees with a critical national responsibility. He emphasized that their conduct would directly contribute to the credibility of the 2026 general election. He called on the participants to take the training seriously and actively participate in all sessions. He also urged them to familiarize themselves with the Electoral Code of Conduct and all operational procedures that will guide them on polling day. Freelance journalist Winter Muwanga reports from Luano that he reminded the trainees to maintain the highest standard of discipline, punctuality, and impartiality. He stressed that the Commission remains committed to delivering free, fair, transparent, peaceful, and credible elections. And that particular story takes us to our second set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, paid and police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and registration issues. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Got the right to complain against every radio broadcast. Do you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond to your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 2 months after the broadcast took place. It's expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We are at Masmith Complex, Ali King Carter Road, PO Box 32475, Dhaka, or call us on +260 211 25589. Visit our website at www.org.zm. Ethical professional broadcasting.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, precision designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
For decades, Zambia has searched for the promise. Through triumph, sacrifice, and difficult seasons, many promised change, but the burden remained heavy. And then, a servant of the people stepped forward. Not perfect, not a magician, but a man willing to lead his people through the wilderness toward Zambia. Like Moses leading his people toward the promised land. The journey was never meant to be easy, because nations are not built overnight. They are built through sacrifice and perseverance. Work is not finished, but Zambia is moving forward. On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company national standards? Let UBZ, your trusted public and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, Courier handles locally, internationally. Call center ensures specialized attention for every client. Seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond. BZ Courier. Call us now 60-663-062-680 or visit us at plot number Bongo, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a brand that can be trusted.
Every celebration, there's a need to belong. Count me in. In moments of love and promises for tomorrow, count me in. At the checkout line, in the middle of an ordinary day, a reminder that every number matters. Count me in. Across our communities, our streets, the same message finds us. Count me in. From the everyday worker to the hands shaping the future every day, the call is the same. Count me in. And around the traditions that bring us together, the message is impossible to ignore. Count me in. This election season, your vote counts. Get your NRC and voter's card ready. Count me in.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Camnet News Desk. And now in international news. A Korean Buddhist leader has called for the protection of religious freedoms and human rights in South Korea amid concerns over the treatment and detention of SHINCHEONJI chairman Lee Man-hee. Venerable Byop-san, chief executive of the Joy-ji of Korean Buddhism, said the state must enforce the law without allowing prejudice or discrimination to undermine fundamental rights. Speaking at a press conference on freedom of religion and expression in South Korea, Byop-san said the arrest and other recent developments had raised concerns about whether authorities were adequately protecting freedom of religion and universal human rights. He said a democratic society becomes healthier when it protects the rights of minorities and aids the judiciary and public authorities to act fairly while respecting freedom of religion. Meanwhile, Ryu Jae-sik, head of the Sao branch of the Association of Korean War Veterans, appealed for Lee's fair trial outside custody. Ryu said Lee, who is 96 years old and a Korean War veteran, is in a frail condition and questioned the necessity of keeping him in detention. He argued that Lee has a secure residence, possesses no flight risk, and is not in a position to interfere with evidence, saying his continued detention raises concerns over his right to life and health. Ryu also defended SHINCHEONJI's relationship with Korean War veterans, saying the church had regularly provided support to veterans, including food and other assistance. He said authorities must maintain law and order but should not apply the law excessively against a particular religious group. Ryu appealed to human rights organizations and the international community to look beyond prejudice and support what he described as a fair trial for Lee while he remains out of custody. The speakers said protecting freedom of religion and human dignity should remain central to South Korea's justice system, regardless of religious affiliation. Here's a roundup of international news.
It's something very anything in some cases, and this is one. It's the very same about Unification Church and SHINCHEONJI. Nobody is taking care. I mean, it's also a little bit about cult narratives.
And being correct and the concern for the special envoy just named a few months ago, a few weeks ago, and also the European Extended Service Action.
Answer from Africa. Can you read for a minute the writer and the question?
What is South Korea doing to protect religious freedom and freedom of expression, and what can other countries learn from
Japan has dissolved an entire religion, the family federation. There's been minimal international outcry about this as far as I can see, and we're about, it seems very likely, this government will pass the pending legislation, the so-called church dissolution law. You are talking about this, your complaint.
But this document was reported in some international media, including your esteemed newspaper.
타인의 자유와 인권이 결코 개인이나 특정 종교의 문제가 아니라 우리 사회 전체의 평화와 상생에 영향을 미치는 일입니다.
신천지가 갖고 있는 부당한 참여를 거두어주시고 95세 연로한 6.25 참전유공 용사가 불구속 상태에서 공정한 재판을 받을 수 있도록 힘을 모아주실 것을 부탁드립니다.
And will you also read the statement?
Respectfully submit this statement after visiting and meeting with Chairman Lee Man-hee and related officials on August 6th during the movement. Others have produced studies on its international missionary development in several countries. We often rely on polemical accounts by religious opponents who denounce it as heresy, while disregarding the findings.
With Zambia's presidential election just days away, residents of the capital Lusaka are hoping Thursday's vote will bring meaningful change. Incumbent Hakainde Hichilema is facing a challenge from Brian Ndubele. He's accused the government of intimidation during the campaign, raising concerns among voters.
Yeah, my expectations is we need to vote with peace. Not fighting, no.
Yeah, next week we are voting for general elections. We are expecting anyone to win. We don't know if Ndubele is going to win or Hakainde is going to win. We want just peaceful elections. Anyone who is going to win is going to be our president. That's all.
Since taking office in 2021, Hichilema has restructured the country's debt and returned the economy to growth. But ordinary citizens are still struggling with unemployment and the high cost of living.
We're expecting again the youth to give more jobs to the youths, and then the like a financial crisis we have here in Zambia, people are lacking jobs. Want the president to do when he comes in power. Yeah.
When you look on paper, of course, the economy seems to be doing well, but we are not yet feeling the impact. But I can say change takes time. Yeah. And I believe it should start from the paper and before it comes and it affects everyone of us.
Presidential results are due on August 17th. If no candidate wins more than 50% of the vote, top contenders will face a runoff. Congolese authorities have released a boat detained last week over fears passengers might be carrying Ebola virus. Speaking to RFI on Sunday, DR Congo's health minister said the vessel was mistakenly believed to have originated in Kisangani, where cases of the deadly virus have been detected. In fact, the boat started in Mongala, which is free of Ebola. The vessel was reported after a passenger was forced to disembark after becoming unwell with symptoms similar to Ebola infection. The person later died, but no samples were taken. 2 children and another adult died aboard but tested for Ebola. Other passengers showing symptoms were also tested, but no cases of the virus were detected. Authorities in Kinshasa say they will continue to monitor boats heading downriver within 65 kilometers of the capital. 2 barges had already been inspected on Saturday.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Football Association of Zambia First President Keith Mwemba has directed football clubs to give players, coaches and officials adequate time to vote in Thursday's general elections. Mwemba says preparations for the new football season and the transitional league should not prevent members of the football community from exercising their constitutional right to participate in the democratic process. He says football responsibilities must not come at the expense of citizens' civic responsibilities. He has urged clubs to plan training sessions and other football-related activities around election day to allow their members to cast their ballots. Mwemba says football activities can resume immediately after voting, stressing that every eligible citizen should have an opportunity to participate in the elections. He has also called on the football community to conduct itself peacefully and respectfully during the electoral process. Mwemba says players, coaches, officials and other members of the football fraternity should participate in the elections peacefully before returning to their football responsibilities. The first president made the call in a statement issued by the association's head of media and communications, Nkweto Tembwe, on Sunday. And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. ECZ intensifies election stakeholder engagement ahead of polls. Immigration apprehends 10 Ethiopians in KAZUNGULA. Land rights must take center stage in 2026 elections, says ZNLC. In international news, Buddhist leader calls for fair treatment of SHINCHEONJI. In sports news, FAS tells clubs to give players time to vote. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. Reads, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." That ends the Bible reading, and that concludes this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, be reminded that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now showing on Top Star Channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Kenstream app. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.